Shalom, Kahalayam La, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Waharakah, Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the Lord's elect. I opened the lesson speaking the ancient Hebrew language. I said Shalom, which means peace to you. And I gave all praises to the Heavenly Father, all right, who this world calls God, Jehovah, or Yahweh, whose true name is Yahweh. Yahweh means he is, he exists, he to be. All right. Bahashem means in the name of Yahweh Shai. And that is the true name of who this world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, Yeshua, or anything else. Yahweh Shai means he deliver or he savior. And the Rakah Quadash is the Holy Spirit, which gives us this understanding in these last days. All right. So I gave double honors to our teachers, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Those are the men who the Most High put the Spirit on in these last days to lead his flock. All right. And we're hoping to be of that elect remnant destined to be saved. Okay. The elect remnant of the nation of Israel, which the true Israelites are us so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. We're the Most High's chosen people, chosen above all these nations on the planet. All right. And these nations are known as the heathen. Now, in particular, in these last days, the self-proclaimed so-called white man is ruling the earth in wickedness because he is the wicked. Pursuant to Malachi 1:4, he's Esau Edom, the borders of wickedness. All right. He's the descendant of Esau Edom, the Edomite. All right. And he's established this wicked stub hub, which is America, known in the scriptures as Babylon the Great. Okay. And, this beast system is the Roman Empire revived, the ancient pagan Roman Empire revived through NATO and the EU. All right. And they're getting ready to establish an enterprise. All right. A one world order. Okay. Under a RFID chip, which that's the mark of the beast. So we're coming into that time. All right. But they're not going to fully be able to, accomplish that enterprise. They are going to microchip people. They are going to unalive many people and create chaos, but they won't be able to control it. Okay. So I'm back in the spirit with a quick video, and we'll start with Isaiah 47. Lord willing, this is edifying. So it says, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon, sit on the ground." All right. Now, first of all, we know this is not talking about ancient Babylon, which ancient Babylon is modern day Iraq. All right. This is talking about a virgin daughter of Babylon, which the word Babylon is Babal in the Hebrew, and it means confusion. All right. This is the place or city of confusion. Okay. And they calls it a virgin daughter because America, unlike many other countries, has never been invaded by outside forces. All right. As it's been established as, the 50 states. Okay. But that's getting ready to change. So it's likened to a virgin. All right. It hasn't had its cherry pop, but that's coming. So it says, "Come down and sit in the dust." All right. And that dust represents confusion. Sit on the ground. And again, the very name Babylon means place of confusion. All right. Now, let's grab a precept here in Isaiah 60:2. It reads, "For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee." All right. Now, the darkness, the gross darkness that's over these people represents wickedness and confusion. All right. This is a very dark time. All right. And, the people are confused because they're deceived by the devil. All right. But, this time we're coming into, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is going to shake up this earth to the point where even the devil, the so-called white man that these people view as God, he has an explanation for everything through his lies, his sorcery, his pseudoscience. All right. But these things that's coming, he won't be able to explain. All right. And the people will know that it's the creator. It's Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, the true power. So let's grab this precept in Luke 21. And we'll start at 25. It says, and there shall be signs, and these are signs of Yahweh Shai's coming. It says, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars. All right, now we're in these signs right now. And matter of fact, let's see. I believe a brother posted it earlier in the chat. Because we're in the month of September now. So we're in these signs. In Joel, the 2nd chapter, these signs are mentioned too. All right, eclipses, So look, on September 7th, 2025, which today's the 4th. So the 7th will be Sunday. Okay, yeah. So on September 7th, 2025, the corn moon will be visible as a total lunar eclipse, also called a blood moon, which is a spectacular event where the moon appears deep red due to Earth's shadow. All right, so that's the point. But we're in these signs. Let me get that let me grab this precept real fast that I quoted, roughly paraphrased in Joel, the 2nd chapter. Joel 2. And I'm going to just get straight to the point in verse 31. The sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood. Right, that's a solar eclipse. All right, and the moon and the blood is a blood moon. All right, now of the recent years, these things have been reoccurring frequently. It says, before the great and terrible day of the Lord come. All right, so we're in these signs. Going back to Luke 21 and 25, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity. And we're at the beginning of the distress of nations. All right, that's why, all across the globe, citizens are rebelling against their governments, right? Uproaring, protesting, rioting. And it's going to lead, it's going to get worse once Esau squeezes even harder. Once this devil, through those central bankers, and they work through these world governments, they're going to squeeze harder and trying to establish this system. All right. And grocery stores will be emptied out. Power grids will go down. All right. The mass jobs will be lost. And people will take it to the streets. And then Esau is going to attempt to come in with his order, which is what? Martial law, right? The mark of the beast, a totalitarian world. Okay. So this is coming. It says, verse 26, and now we're getting into the point. Men's hearts fell in them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. For the powers of heaven shall be shaken. All right. And showing that these so-called elites, the central bankers, these Edomites, the rulers of these nations, they're going to lose control. and trying to attempt this enterprise, they're going to lose control because Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is in full control. All right. And he's going to plague this earth with his wonders, with his prophecies, with his judgments. And this is going to be out of the hands of these Edomites. All right. And Yahweh Shai is coming with those angels. That's why it says, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. The powers of heaven just represents, this kingdom, this society. This is the heaven of the so-called white man. All right. So those in Revelations it's written that there, I believe it's in Revelation, Salakia, if it's somewhere else, but roughly paraphrasing, they're going to say, let the rocks fall upon us to hide us from him that sitteth on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. All right. And that's going into those bunkers. The elites are going to be hiding out in bunkers. All right. So they're going to be spooked. Verse 27, and then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud, right, a chariot, a so-called spaceship, with power and great glory. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. And this is to the elect. All right. So when we see these signs on the earth, which we're in these signs, all right, our redemption, our salvation is very near. Like it's written in, what is that, Romans 11 and 13 or 13 and 11, that now is a high time to awake out of sleep, for our salvation draws near. All right. So this is all good news for us. All right. But for the wicked of this world, this is a token of their destruction, these signs. All right. So again, back to Isaiah 47, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. All right. Now the Chaldeans in the ancient world, ancient societies were sorcerers. All right. That ran, that advised rulers and ran things behind the scenes, much like the central bankers today. Says, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. All right. And everybody's against America. Everybody is exposing and calling out America for its wickedness. It says, take the millstones and grind meal, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Yeah. Everything has been exposed, from the history on how this place was wickedly established. All right, through rape, rob, and murder of the Israelites. All right, to, all of the, this place invading these other countries and polluting it with wickedness and just lying and deceiving, and all of the wickedness that's going on right now. All right, it's all being talked about. It's all being exposed. It says, thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. All right. How this nation was established is shameful. All right. I will take vengeance and I will not meet thee as a man. All right. So Yahweh Shai is coming. All right. And this place will be utterly destroyed. All right. Utterly destroyed. Let's grab that precept in Revelation 18. The fall of Babylon. All right. The fall of America. And this is the mindset of these Edomites. Let's start at verse 7. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. And this is the pride of these devils. All right, when Trump, all that he's speaking, he just represents all of these Edomites here. It says, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord power who judgeth her. All right, strong is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai that's about to judge this place. All right, death, mourning, and famine, all these things are coming. All right, and utterly burned with fire, what's that? That's the nuclear fire. as well as laser beams from Yahweh Shai and the angels through those chariots. That's how this place is going to be made a lake of fire. All right. Back to Isaiah 47 and 4. It reads, as for our Redeemer, the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai of hosts is his name. All right. Host means armies. All right. The Holy One of Israel, sit thou silent and get thee into darkness. Again, confusion. O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. So the Lord is visiting this place, and it keeps, going into confusion. Okay, these devils in Babylon is not going to have an answer for what's coming. Let's grab another quick precept in Isaiah 19. It says the burden of Egypt. Now, just like, so the word Egypt is a Greek word, and the Hebrew is matazarium, and it means straits, which is bondage. So Egypt represents captivity. Okay, so Babylon the Great is also likened unto Egypt. When you read Revelation, the 11th chapter, it tells us that this place is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. So it says, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, right, that spaceship, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. Yeah, this place isn't going, these devils won't have an answer for Yahweh Shai and the angels. All right, at that moment when the Lord returns, all those idols are going to be thrown down completely. It says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city and kingdom against kingdom. Right. So this place will be destroyed from the inside out, from internally and an external source. All right. There will be a civil war here. It says and here's the point. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards. All right. But there's not going to be an answer. All right. The sorcery will no longer work. The spiritual entity, Satan, and, these demonic entities will depart from Esau. All right. And no enchantment will work. So going back to Isaiah 47, verse 6, I was wroth with my people. I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thine hand. Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke. Right. So according to, the curses for the Israelites breaking the law, statutes, and commandments is we would go into captivity under our enemies. But like the Lord said here, this devil showed us no mercy. All right. Not even against the old. All right. That's the ancient. All right. The young, everybody went into a brutal, gruesome captivity, and we're still here. Verse 7, and thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. Yeah, you devils still have this mentality like you're not going to pay for what you've done to us. Therefore, hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures and dwellest carelessly, and this describes America to a T, that sayest in thy heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. And what does it tell us in Obadiah 1 and 3? The pride of this devil's heart has deceived him. All right. He fully operates on pride. This is his mindset. It says, but these two things shall come upon thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. All right. Meaning what? A lot of majority of people here are getting ready to be unalive. Even the wicked 2/3 of our own people that join hand in hand with these devils. All right. So, man, people are having, babies at a rapid rate. A lot of these children are getting ready to be unalive by these plagues that's coming. All right. A lot of these men are about to be drafted to these wars and slain in the streets. All right. The loss of children and widowhood, man. And that's heavy. That is heavy for anyone out there who has children. The thought of some type of harm, happening to your seeds, your offspring, there's no heaviness like that. All right. But that's what the Lord is bringing upon this place for vengeance, for judgment. The loss of children and widowhood. It says they shall come upon thee in their perfection. Right. Through these judgments during the time of Jacob's trouble. It says, for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. All right. So this is the mindset. So in verse 11, it says, therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee. For thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. And the day of the Lord is written is coming as a thief in the night to catch these people off guard. All right. So we'll end this lesson off with this in Proverbs 16 and 18. Pride goeth before destruction, and an haughty spirit before a fall. So that's how another sign that we know this place is out of here, because pride is at an all-time high. And all these people dwelling here in America, they have the mindset of this devil, that nothing bad is going to happen. But what does it say in Thessalonians when they say peace and safety, sudden destruction cometh upon them? All right. So that's what's coming next. Destruction. All right. And Lord will we be of the elect and be preserved and delivered from these things. So all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Waharakah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the Lord's elect. Shalom.